Hello, and welcome to the very first episode of O Radio. मैं थोड़ा सरपंच साहब, and joining me today to my left is
DJ Current.
Aman.
Hads.
So how you guys been? So how have you guys been? It's been a long journey, I would say.
Yeah. It's been a crazy journey.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what are you guys 2021's looking like so far? Early days still, but
Very early. Just back at work. Bit of a struggle.
back at work. Hards. Okay, like nothing.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's just
2021
it's 2021. I mean, look, honestly, if you ask me, 2020 wasn't any different to me from the usual. I don't go out much. Siddhi gall hai jehdi, right? Vyayo bande ja.
One day.
One day.
one day.
ਤੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਹਲੇ ਵਿਆਹ
ਹੋਊਗਾ।
ਤੇਰਾ ਕਰਾਉਣਾ
ਕਰਾਂਗੇ।
ਇਹਦੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੁੜੀ ਲੱਭ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੀ
ਬੇਨਤੀ ਆ।
ਇਹਨੂੰ ਸਰਪੰਚ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਨਹੀਂ
ਨਾਰੇ ਵਾਲਾ ਨੋ ਦਾ ਸਰਪੰਚ ਸਾਹਿਬ
3805
ਕੋਈ ਇਲੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਪਤਾ ਹੀ ਮੰਨ ਗਿਆ
ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਅਸੀਂ
ਮੰਨੇ ਸਰਪੰਚ
ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਆ ਸਰਪੰਚ ਪਰ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ
ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ
ਏਦਾਂ ਹੈ।
ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ
Yeah, so anyway, look, 2020, I believe everyone's kind of gone through something they never expected to experience. It's been a hell of a ride, I'd say.
Crazy.
You know, look, there's a lot of positives and a lot of negatives out of it. We'll just work with the positives, I reckon. And that is that a lot of businesses have realised that they can actually work from home and people don't need to be at the office all the time. Productivity's actually gone up.
Yeah.
If you look around, everyone's kind of, improved. I don't know, the costs of running businesses have come down. Wages, government supported people in the businesses for a while as well. Actually still up until the end of this March.
yeah until March
So,
March.
I mean, home builder grant,
ਚੱਲਦਾ
it's affected us both pretty well.
ਜੇ ਕਿਸਨੇ ਘਰ ਬਣਾਉਣਾ ਸਾਡਾ ਅਮਨ ਸੇਖੋ
ਤੇ ਬਾਸੀ ਸਾਹਿਬ
ਤੇ ਬਾਸੀ ਸਾਹਿਬ
ਸੌਰੀ ਹਾਰਡਸ
sorry ਹਾਰਡਸ ਬਾਸੀ
And ਇਧਰ ਸਾਡਾ ਭਰਾ ਬਿਜ਼ੀ ਹੋਇਆ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ
Yeah.
ਕਰਾਈ ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ
Hey man, every day
DJ
almost.
ਕਰਨ 24
Awesome.
ਘੰਟੇ DJing.
Yeah, man, it's been busy. It's good. It's picked up pretty well after the COVID.
It's got to be a bit of a blessing, don't you reckon? You get all this chance to build up all this list of music, and then all of a sudden, bang!
I wouldn't say it's a blessing. It's just,
Just happy to be back.
yeah, just happy to be back. I think we probably are one of the luckiest country who's actually doing events in the western side. Yeah. So every other country is closed apart from New Zealand and Australia.
Up until a couple of weeks ago, I think even in Canada, they were still having weddings and stuff.
no they were it was just very like
Yeah, very
Smaller numbers.
very
numbers.
small
Sure,
Yeah.
Smaller numbers, but they were having them.
Yeah,
but
now,
like hey, like that's not bad man a small Punjabi wedding
no, man,
It's unheard of.
man
it's a pain.
It's going to become a common thing.
600 ਬੰਦਾ ਮੈਂ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ 600 ਬੰਦਾ ਨੂੰ ਜਾਣਦਾ ਆ ਤੱਕ ਮੰਮੀ ਡੈਡੀ ਦੇ ਜਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸੱਦਿਆ ਸੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸੱਦਣਾ ਪੈਣਾ
ਸਰਪੰਚ
I think,
ਹੈਗੀ ਆ
have to
The last thing Punjabi want is a smaller wedding, man.
makes no
big
sense.
brand.
Yeah, it has to be for some reason. You got to feed 600 people. And even no matter what you do, ਅੱਧਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਤਾਂ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਹੀ ਆਵੇ ਉਹਨੇ ਰੋਟੀ ਸਵਾਦ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਉਹਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਗਾਣੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਵਧੀਆ ਸੀ
ਤੈਨੂੰ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਪਤਾ
ਹਲੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਵਿਆਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਇਆ ਪਰ ਮੈਂ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿਆਹ ਤੇ
ਤੂੰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨੌਕਸ ਕੱਢਦਾ
100% ਜੇ ਬਟਰ ਚਿਕਨ ਗਰਮ ਨਾ ਹੋਵੇ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਕਹਿ ਦੇਣਾ ਵਿਆਹ ਦੇ ਕਾਰਡ ਲਿਖ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਵੇ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਬਟਰ ਚਿਕਨ ਬਕਵਾਸ ਸੀਗਾ
He's going to be at the front door just asking ਮੰਮੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕ੍ਰਾਸ ਮਾਰ
ਸੱਦਣਾ ਨਹੀਂ
No, but how are you finding it? Like, any different? to what you would like before, pre?
Not really. No.
No.
What about in terms of music coming out? Because I think even with most of the the mainstream Punjabi artists are actually focusing on but are actually their attentions towards the Morcha, the Kisan Morcha.
I think there's not a lot of music coming out
Yeah.
because of COVID, because obviously they can't shoot and
It is.
they can't go around. So yeah, there's a very few podcast music about. So
Yeah.
than normal, normally there's a lot of Punjabi music coming out. At the moment, it's very contained. I think very less. I'd say 10% of what normally comes out.
Yeah, how does that affect you as a DJ? Like, do you have to just revert back to your old songs?
Yeah, we have. Yeah, exactly. So that's great.
Yeah, but
That's
doesn't
what
it
we do.
kind of mess up the flow of things, I guess? Like a
Ah,
song
no.
suddenly becomes overplayed?
No, not really.
Not really?
Because people don't expect. If there's no new music coming out, you're not expected to play.
Correct.
If there's nothing coming out.
All
Right,
gonna
so-
love.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, gonna la.
All gonna love.
Oh, gonna la.
So yeah, it's been pretty good so far. I think after the COVID time, it's picked up pretty quick.
Can't be
Which
too
is
bad,
very
7 days a week.
unexpected. We weren't expecting anything to be happening at this stage. Up until October or November.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So we weren't. No one was sure that anything was going to happen
Yeah.
in January, February, even up until March, because a lot of people were looking to postpone further down the year. So yeah, in that way, it's definitely been a blessing
So
that
who
we've.
knows our current numbers situation?
I think currently we are at a max of 100 people outdoor gatherings.
No.
Yeah, man. We're less than Sydney. I know that much.
So no. So indoors, there's no cap.
Huh? Google Babina Puchna Victoria.
So indoors, there's no cap indoors.
It's the spacing, yeah.
It's just there's no cap.
It's the 1.5
Like this-
meter distance.
Yeah, it's I think 1.5 or 2 meters from memory. Yeah,
How are people doing their tables nowadays?
it's the same thing.
So
Oh,
they're
no
doing tables
difference.
still?
No difference at all.
Funny
Yeah,
something.
There's
Yeah,
no
I
difference.
Mr. Andrews ਸੁਣਦਾ ਹੋਣਾ
Yeah, sorry,
ਉਹਨੇ
Andrew.
ਪੰਜਾਬੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ
ਉਹਦਾ
ਪੜ੍ਹਨਾ
No, it's not.
ਇਹ ਆਪ ਤਾਂ ਸੋਸ਼ਲ ਡਿਸਟੈਂਸਿੰਗ ਕਰਦਾ
ਹਾਂ ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਦੂਰ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ
ਉਹਦਾ ਤਾਂ ਟੇਬਲ ਦੂਰ
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got
I'm
decks
away.
in between him.
And I like it that way.
Yeah, it's
Don't come
pocket.
near me. Let me play.
I can't hear you.
Can't hear you. Stay away.
I think they're ਦੂਰ ਹੈ mask ਪਾ ਕੇ
No song requesting due to COVID.
Keep your distance.
It's just funny though. Like I mean, being in an isolated part of the world, we've got over. I think from what I've heard, is over 15,000 people still stuck overseas.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
And-
There's very few flights coming inside.
And today, like I and again, this is second-hand information, but I read somebody's post who had shared from somebody else's that a lady had paid $21,000 for her family, so her husband and 2 children, from overseas to book their airfares to come back home. They've had 12 flight reschedules,
Oh,
and the $1,000 compensation that they're giving is well and truly not going to cover
yeah.
the fact that they've been stuck overseas for many months.
Yeah, and
And
there's
then
a lot
don't
of them.
forget they're expected to quarantine when they get back here.
Yeah, they have to pay for themselves.
$3,000 per
Per
pop.
person, yeah.
So that's another $9,000 that this family's going to have to fork out.
Yeah.
Right, so $21,000 plus all your living costs over there, minus the $1,000 that the government has handed to you, plus the $9,000 on re-entry. You're looking at a pretty hefty holiday right there.
Yep.
Oh, where were they?
I have no idea. I
I
think
think,
it's US or UK
um,
or something like that.
It's still better than getting stuck. I'd say. What do you think?
Were they in Sydney?
Better than getting stuck.
Like in some other country,
Look, I think in
I know it's a
times like
pain.
these, you'd want to be around family.
Exactly. So you'd still be happier,
But they're not.
But the
No,
government
no,
did.
I know they have to pay a lot of
No,
money,
but-
but
Yeah.
you're still happier
How would you
getting
feel?
home than staying in some
Yeah, but
other
they're
country.
not getting home. That's the issue. They've
No,
paid
when-
$21,000.
And they still didn't get home.
They're still not home.
But the government gave a leeway period, like back in April or March,
But
where they
there's only
said
a certain number of flights that are coming in.
no. But they said at that point, if you're overseas and you're an Australian, you can come back here and
They
we'll
had,
put
like,
you
a
in hotel.
registration
Yeah,
program
you have
as
to
well.
register. I feel like a lot of these people would have just been like, we'll run the gamble. Like it'll probably be over by the time we're gonna go back anyway. And now they're stuck. You know what I mean? I feel like that's probably more likely.
Look, it may or may not have happened that way, but I just still think that. Well, the reason I brought this up was we've got the Australian Open happening right now, right? And we've got over 100 tennis players coming into the country, of some which have tested positive,
Yeah.
right?
Privilege
And they're
fuck.
expected to self-quarantine as well. They're not, having to go to like these hotels or whatnot, the government hotels. So, there's a bit of a double standard here. You know,
No, they're in
as a
hotels.
citizen, you can't come back.
Yeah.
But as an athlete,
But
it's okay.
that's passing. I think I'll.
Oh, basta.
Australian Open's gonna bring a lot of money to the
People
economy,
wanna watch
man.
tennis, man.
Yeah, man. Like passing the galla, man. It's all gonna come down to money. Government knows run the Australian Open. We're gonna make money off this. A random person's gonna come back. What are they gonna do?
Cut Jake
They
out.
might, go,
Gotcha.
they might go and watch the Australian Open.
But they don't care. But there's enough people here that are ready to watch it, man.
Are you
Right.
sure?
Bro, there were how many at the
How many
MCG
people
allowed?
can actually go to the Australian Open now?
Well, I mean the MCG was
How
what
much were the tickets?
It's
be?
not the
25%.
they don't make most money out of the tickets. They make it the broadcasting
the
right.
endorsements and broadcasting.
Broadcasting, advertising, us watching it on Channel 7. Like
It's
it
on the
happens.
t- it's a
That's
TV
not,
rights.
That's not the government making that money. It's the money's being made by the organisers of the Australian Open.
No, the Vic government
Nah,
makes
the
a lot of
government
money from
definitely
that,
had
bro. The government makes a lot of money.
They
Otherwise,
definitely
why
do.
would they do it, bro?
Visa fees. No, what do you mean? Why would they do it?
Otherwise, why would they
The
hold this
government
China
doesn't
Open?
have anything to
How
do
much
with
does
it.
a visa cost? One's hold up then.
20, $40
Nah, I think it's a
$100
visa
visa.
thing.
No, I think our visa is about $170 or something.
Okay, I'm not just trying to get.
Canada visas are good.
Oh, ਗੱਲ ਛੱਡ ਬੰਦਾ
ਜਾਣਾ
ਜਾਣਾ
ਆਪਾਂ ਜਾਣਾ।
ਤਾਂ ਜਾਣਾ ਆ ਇੱਕ ਦਿਨ ਦੁਬਾਰਾ
ਜਾਣਾ ਇੱਕ ਦਿਨ
ਇੱਕ
ਉਹ
ਦਿਨ
ਰਹਿ ਕੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਇਆ ਸੀ ਉੱਥੇ
ਰਹਿ ਕੇ ਆਇਆ ਸੀ ਕੀ ਕਰੀ man nearly died actually
What?
funny story very funny
You never
story
told me this.
I nearly died
Well,
while I was
we're about to
in
hear it first
while I
right
was
now.
in Toronto so I was in Toronto when the Raptors were winning the finals right the NBA finals
Wait, hang on. Are you going to do like masala on this or
no this is legit facts like I could
actual death almost?
not like-
oh alright ਮੈਂ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ
but
nearly
they
ਮਰਨ
gave us our
nearly
time.
ਮਰਨ
That's why-
ਲੱਗਿਆ ਸੀ
Metallica,
but
yeah.
like at that point in time I really did think I was gonna die like there was a brief period there
So what was the situation?
no so the Raptors were playing the NBA finals right I was in Toronto at that point in time game 6 happens in Golden State the Raptors win right at Rollerbag yeah 2-3 days later the Raptors are having a parade in the city right similar like all down through downtown Toronto I was like fuck it I'm gonna go maybe Jonah we went we're there in the crowd and then literally so we're here there's a screen in front of us and there's a building to the left of us just around the building we just hear gunshots like 5-6 gunshots straight
Sure wasn't a car backfiring.
no bro that's what we thought and then people just it was a stampede man
Oh.
like fucking bunch so shit so banda start running and then at that point I was like oh fuck kuch ho gaya
Shit, man, massacre ja
so
gaya.
मैं भी मैं एक बार ही आया सी like unlucky guy you know but that was the thing and then yeah we got out of it we went back to the apartment and saw the news it's like yeah shots fired 1 person dead 4 arrested I was like
Whoa.
Shit.
and I'm like मैं एक दिन
What
है
was the
story
reason?
What
but it
the
was
heck,
just
yeah,
honestly
see?
it was just I think it was just like bullshit gang shit
So yeah, but so what I think is that there's a lot of scaremongering that goes on as well. It probably all happened, but all I'm saying is that like the media don't really get into the gist of it. They should have asked those questions. They probably,
Can you
did,
put
you
to the-
probably didn't care to know.
ਕਿਹਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛਦੇ ਪਰ
Huh?
who are they going to ask
Somebody would have been there.
I think,
Bro, they
I think
found out.
mostly everyone just shut themselves in.
no like they found out when they knew the person who died they obviously knew that man was
Gangbangers
affiliated
ਸੀਗਾ?
he was affiliated and so at that point you just
Toronto 'ਚ ਵੀ gangbanger ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਕਿ Vancouver Surrey ਵੱਲ ਤਾਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੀ.
Toronto is pretty like
Is it?
yeah man like they're pretty especially like you go like east side like Scarborough
Yeah.
I mean ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਬਸ ਜਾਣਦਾ ਹੀ ਆ ਪਰ
I was gonna say,
ਸੁਣਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਮੈਂ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਸੁਣਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ
names.
like Scarborough like I know like Brampton has a lot of like ਆਪਣੇ trying to be wannabe gangs like Bindi Jahal wannabes and stuff
He's from Surrey.
ਨਹੀਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਪਰ ਉਦੋਂ they idolize
I don't
him
even know
bro
if he's from Surrey, but I know he's
ਨਹੀਂ
from
ਸਰੀ
Vancouver,
ਜਾਂ ਸਰੀ ਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ
Surrey ਦਾ ਸੀ?
yeah ਸਾਡਾ
But
Bindi
hey,
Jahal
he went and shot up the Harley, the Hells Angels,
yeah
apparently. I don't know, I wasn't there, but
ਸੀਗਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਇਹਦਾ ਪਾਸਪੋਰਟ ਚੈੱਕ ਕਰੋ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਛੱਡਦਾ ਸੀ ਉਹ ਟਾਈਮ
ਵੀਜ਼ਾ ਦਾ ਪਤਾ
नहीं.
ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ ਤਾਂ ਹੋ man
That's fine.
Well,
So
hey, what did you think of Canada? Like, has
Man,
it any?
it's pretty similar to here, though.
bro, I'm telling you, like, if I could go and live there, I fucking would in a heartbeat, man.
Why so?
You
Why?
would.
I would so quick. So fucking quick.
Anything
Only
out
thing,
there?
legit, like really, the only thing keeping me here right now is obviously just the
Corona.
family that I know here.
Oh.
Like, you know what I mean?
Corona.
So
Corona.
why would? What's the reason?
This, I think you have to take it with a grain of salt because I was there on a holiday as well. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So like
Yeah,
holiday horunda. But like even like I saw my cousin, he was working there while I was there, and like
Dil tan laaya utte.
नहीं दिल भी लग गया सी पर ਉਹ ਬੱਕਰੀ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਨੇ
I think that's
ਉਹ ਵੀ ਬੱਕਰੀ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਨੇ
ਗੱਲ ਇੱਥੇ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਆ ਫਿਰ
yeah. ਮੁੱਖ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਤਾਂ ਇਹੀ ਹੈ.
I mean, but still, you know what I mean? Besides all that, it was something
You
different.
couldn't just look. I've lived there for 3 months at a time for about 3-4 years in a row, right? And I was in Vancouver, and like I've got a chacha that's like still very young at heart. Is a gem of a person. Love the guy dearly.
He's also a radio host.
No. He used to be.
नहीं और दूसरा
He used-
और
No.
No,
hang on.
legit. No, seriously.
No.
Mate,
He used to be. He actually not radio host. He used to host a TV show, Satarang.
Mm.
Satarang
Satarang.
TV. So
Okay.
that was like back in the days, though, yeah. And he's
Yeah.
also starred in some videos as well, like Sabarkoti. You know Sabarkoti?
I do.
Yeah.
Sabarkoti.
Yeah. These guys probably they don't know understand.
He was
proper
from
Senti
he
songs.
was from Jalandhar, so I know.
He's really good though.
The
Like,
Bug-
really good
yeah.
songs. And
Wow,
um,
okay.
but anyway, look.
No, do you know Sabakoti or not?
Nah, man. I'll be honest with you, I
Monica?
don't.
Are you you don't know Sabakoti?
Man, I'm pretty young,
You?
man. Forgive
Singer.
me.
Yeah, he probably
Alright,
know.
Thomas
He's
Ronaldo,
dead.
shit.
ਮੈਨੂੰ forgive ਕਰੋ ਮੈਂ ਥੋੜਾ ਛੋਟਾ ਹਾਂ
मैं तो अजय बच्चा है.
ਮੇਰੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਆ ਬੇਬੀ
Doesn't that-
ਪਰ ਵਿਆਹ ਕਰਨਾ ਹਲੇ ਛੋਟਾ ਆ ਉਮਰ ਵੱਡਾ ਹੋਇਆ
But what I'm trying to get at is like people who are leading busy lives there, and like my chacha, don't get me wrong, he's such an active person, very busy person, but he always made time. One of the things I'll never forget, you know, movies, showing me around downtown, all that sort of stuff. You know, I wanted to go to clubs, and he never used to go, but he's like, all right, I'll take you.
yeah
Shit like that, right? Like he went out of his way to show me around. Something I'll never forget. But after 3 months of it, like I'm not working. I'm not doing anything.
yeah
You know what I mean? Like even though I had a friend circle, I had everything
Mm.
there.
yeah
So what did you do there?
I used to go for wrestling camp. So, all right, I'll give you a history. Like one of the guys who I respect my dad a lot, but a guy that he actually took me under his wing. His name was Randeep Sodhi. He
okay.
passed away maybe about 5 or 6 years ago. He was only 37 years old
Oh,
at the
fuck.
time. Right? He was like a Canadian wrestling champion. He was like a gem of a person.
Mm.
And you know, like for whatever reason, he passed away. And you know, that guy used to train me. You know, pick me up in the mornings, drop me off after workouts, take me to the gym, come pick me up again in the evenings, take me to Simon Fraser University where we used to go and train.
Simon Fraser
Simon Fraser, yeah.
Simon Fraser
On top of the hill.
On-
But you know, like this guy has touched so many lives.
yeah
And he made my trips to Canada very memorable, just by him, you know, being who he is,
yeah
and he's touched a lot of lives, right? So shout out to him. Like, honestly, like that guy was somebody that shouldn't have gone so soon.
I feel like that's what happens, man. Like the best go young.
The best go young.
Yeah.
That's right.
You quite young.
मेरा तो ब्याह भी नहीं होया
कहते ब्याह करवाना. कहते ब्याह करवाना.
Maybe.
पता नहीं दसी
Yeah.
ना. पापा तो स्परियन का fans.
And you almost did in Canada.
ਉੱਥੇ
ਨਹੀਂ,
ਜਿਵੇਂ ਰੈਪ
ਆ ਬਚ ਗਿਆ ਫਿਰ।
ਜਿਵੇਂ ਰੈਪ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਉੱਥੇ ਮੈਂ ਕਰ ਦੇਣਾ ਸੀ ਕੰਮ ਉੱਥੇ
ਦਿਲ ਤਾਂ ਉਹਦਾ ਉਹੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਹੀ ਆ.
Oh, there.
ਇੱਥੇ ਉਦਾਂ ਹੀ ਫਿਰਦਾ ਹੈ.
ਤੇ ਉਧਰੋਂ ਤੂੰ ਹੀ ਦੇਖ
ਹਾਂ
Hang
ਪਰ
on,
ਲੈਣ
hang on.
ਚੱਲਾ
Wait,
ਦਿਲ ਵਾਪਸ.
wait. ਕਿਹੜਾ ਕੰਮ ਤੂੰ ਕਰ ਦੇਣਾ ਸੀ ਉੱਥੇ?
ਵਿਆਹ ਹੋਣਾ ਹੋਰ ਕਿਹੜਾ ਕੰਮ ਹੁੰਦਾ
ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ
ਹੈਂ?
ਫਿਰ ਮੈਂ
ਲੈ ਤੂੰ ਨੋਟੀ ਨਾ ਬਣ
मैं तेरे सधारण क्वेश्चन ਪੁੱਛਿਆ ਜੇ ਹੁਣ ਤੂੰ ਪੁੱਠੇ ਪਾਸੇ ਲੈ ਜਾਣੀ ਗੱਲ
ਮੈਂ ਕਈ
ਪਰ
ਪੁੱਠੇ
ਲੋਕੀ
ਪਾਸੇ
ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਹੁਤ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਦੇ ਦੋ ਮਤਲਬ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ
ਹੈਗੇ ਤਾਂ ਹੈ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਗੱਲ ਸੱਚਾ
ਹਰ ਗੱਲ ਦੇ ਦੋ ਮਤਲਬ ਹੈ
ਯੈਸ
ਹਰ ਗੱਲ ਦੇ ਦੋ ਮਤਲਬ ਹੈ
ਮੋਸਟਲੀ
very very true
yeah fair enough
nah man
ਤੂੰ ਦੱਸ ਅਮਨ ਸਿੰਘ what's happening in your neck of the woods
Now they
To
want
be honest, man, nothing much. Sarpanch Sahib just,
Sarpanch
towards the
Sahib.
north.
ਹਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਰਾਖੀ ਰੱਖਦਾ
Lucky Rakharaya keeps an eye on that. The rest of everyone.
ਘਰ ਉੱਚੀ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਦੇਖਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਵੇਲਾ
going back to what you touched on just before the Kisan Morcha
Yeah.
thoughts on that
Sad. It's sad what we're seeing. The elderly, the young, in the cold.
what's it
The rain.
125 deaths now
nah more man I
Is
feel
it?
like cause bro I feel like it's increasing more and more every day
Yeah. And it's one of the world's largest protests, and there's
Yep.
no news coverage, which is
was it
really
250
frustrating.
million people they were saying
Sorry.
yeah on I think it was
250
November
million people
28
that's
it
not
was
something to scoff at
250 million people had a general strike alongside the
and if someone
Kisans.
doesn't understand Australian terminology like scoff at means what does it mean exactly
It's nothing to laugh at. It's nothing to.
Yeah.
It's nothing to dismiss.
yeah correct
Yeah.
it's not small I'll give you that
Yeah, it's definitely not small.
it's been labelled one of the biggest protests
I mean, it definitely is the biggest protest. I don't think we'll ever get that like officially recognized because,
no
it's,
one will get counted
exactly because they're not gonna count right now. But like, I think definitely the amount of people we're seeing definitely should be.
Yeah.
it's crazy
Like even when you watch the videos, and they go, yeah, this many 100 million people were there, and then they've actually got a drone, and the drone goes up and looks, out.
it circles
You
out
just-
and it's just limitless
Yeah. It just doesn't
it's
stop.
crazy bro
It's crazy.
it is and look they've got it set up like a midler
Mm.
like they're making the most of it don't get me wrong
They came prepared, man. They came prepared.
oh yeah
ਗੱਲ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ.
Yeah. They knew it was gonna probably take a while before.
but you know
Any
what I'm
actions,
actually liking I'm liking the stories that I'm hearing about the morcha is one aspect of it right it's like very very important that they go back home victorious from this but the stories that I'm hearing about the misconception people used to have about Punjabis or vice versa all those are dwindling as well like a lot of people are actually sharing love and happiness by being there
Yeah.
and I think you can't kind of replace that either
it shows kind of
is
unity.
a very unique situation a very unique situation it's like it makes me laugh like the Kisans from Punjab are like digging up the sides of the road beaching their sabji now
Planting.
and they've got Narke going as well now they're actually digging bores down
Man,
deep to get water out of there
they're ready. They are ready, man.
they are like serious and they're making roads they're helping people locals people who are living in the clay huts and stuff like that they're helping them out
Langar.
there's the non-stop langar all the time as well there's people that were going hungry that are like coming and doing seva as well so they're actually started a whole new community and that's just by their presence and that's it nothing else and I think hats off to the guys they're doing a great job
Yeah.
government needs to do a better job listening like I mean
It's the
they're
government.
playing a
Man.
lot of dirty tactics right now
But ਤੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੀ ਆ ਪੈਸਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਹੀ ਰਹਿੰਦੀ ਆ. Like the government is not going to think about the people. Never ever.
well that's just it kind of makes me wonder where does it stop because if you think about it first people stopped using geosims right now people are getting off WhatsApp
And the generators.
Yeah, stealing generators from.
they stopped the petrol
One
stations
guy's
they
just
stopped
rolling a
using their
generator
petrol
into a
stations as
gondola.
well
Yeah.
no they stopped using now apparently in I think it was within a week or so was it Ambani or Adani I don't know which one but
Yeah, they dropped.
they dropped 3%
Yeah, the net worth.
of net worth and that equates to billions of dollars
They dropped from I think it was they were top 10 richest. I think they're like mid 10s. So I think like 6 or 7. And now, last time I checked, they were like 15th. Like most richest people in the world. I think it was Ambani.
Crazy.
It has to be Ambani.
And WhatsApp's gone from the number one app
Yeah.
to down to 13th or something, and it's probably dropped even more. Signal number one kar diya.
Signal number one hagi. That's the thing, man.
That's just crazy. And Signal conked out on me the first day I bloody got onto it as well. Apparently their servers weren't up to it with all the new people signing
100%, bro. That's the day you sent me about 300 messages.
up. How much did I
Out
spam
of
you?
sync, bro. I was like, man, इतना important गल केड़ी होगी, bro? What comes?
Thanks for watching.
300 messages, man. Oh my god, shit, man. कुछ हो गया.
Yeah. Apparently I sent those messages to a lot of people.
Yeah, बहुत ज़्यादा messages.
Everyone that was on my
Imagine,
actually.
imagine when they all actually go through. Goes off like in the middle of the night. Like, there's 100 people here.
So this guy, man.
Bling, 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 bling.
Oh my god. But no, I think the tough thing is, man, like you think about Mbani and Adani, man, their hands are like in every pot.
Yeah, so is
Like
Bill Gates.
their hands are in every pot. So it's like, हाँ जियो सिम ना बरतो, but तेल बेच दे, तेल बेच दे सोनू. Oh, don't use the तेल. Don't use the petrol stations. Like, oh, half the food products you buy at the supermarket on the achcho on there, like on the passe milte there. Like at the end of the day, it's so hard to like not put money in their pocket.
I'll tell you the biggest stuff. Well, no, their biggest supporter is government. They've been excused of debts that many times, or they've been their negative accounts have been topped up that many times that they pretty much can't fail.
Like
Because-
Adani here, man. The Australian government is giving Adani loans. Like, what kind of shit is that,
Didn't
man?
they recently say they paid 3 mil something for something?
It's 3 mil.
Yeah, like a couple mil they forked out to the Australian government.
I wouldn't be surprised, man. I don't know exactly, but I'm pretty sure the loans they've given the Adani Corporation to build that coal mine in Queensland are just fucking ridiculous, man. ਸਾਡੇ ਸੜਕਾਂ ਤੇ ਮਾਰਦੇ ਆ.
ਗਾਲਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੱਢਣੀਆਂ.
ਮੈਂ ਕਰਨ ਜੀ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਬੀਪ ਕਰ ਦਿਓ ਕਦੋਂ ਐਡੀਟਿੰਗ ਕਰਨੀ ਆ.
Beep.
ਹਾਂ ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਇਹੀ
Watch again.
ਬਚ ਗਏ ਮੰਮੀ ਡੈਡੀ ਨਾ ਸੁਣਿਓ ਮੈਂ ਗਾਲ ਕੱਢੀ ਆ. But yeah, it's crazy, man. Like we got homeless people.
ਕੰਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਫੜ ਕੇ ਇੱਕ ਬੈਠਕ ਕੱਢ.
ਮੇਰੀ ਲੱਤਾਂ ਦੁਖਦੀਆਂ ਮੈਂ ਸੱਚੀ ਦੱਸਾਂ. ਮੈਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਕੁੱਤੇ ਨੂੰ ਸਕੂਲ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਗਿਆ ਸੀ ਅੱਜ. ਬੜਾ ਭੱਜਣਾ ਪਿਆ.
ਉਹ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਪੜਾਉਣਾ
You know, ਕੋਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ like she's keeping me as a pet more than I'm keeping her as a pet, man.
You know what? Let's touch this topic for a sec. Right?
Yeah.
Who picks up whose shit?
ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਬੜੀ ਸੱਚ ਆ, man. I think about
Who has
sometimes
to get up in the morning
I'm
to
like-
feed it?
I feed her, I bathe her, I pick up her shit, I play with her, I do everything for her. And she's just like doing ash in the backyard, you know,
You know
she's
what?
running around.
You know what? ਸੁਧਰ ਗਿਆ ਤਾਂ you time not
ਤਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਦੱਸਦਾ
ਹੁਣ ਵਿਆਹ ਹੋਊ ਮੁੰਡੇ ਦਾ.
that was stage 1.
stage 1 ਕੁੱਤਾ ਲਓ
Stage 1.
ਨਿਆਣੇ ਦੀ ਤਿਆਰੀ ਆ.
Stage 2.
No, no.
what's up and all?
Stage 1 is commitment.
Commitment, ਹਾਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਦਿਨ ਦੇਖੋ ਮੈਂ ਕੁੱਤਾ ਸੰਭਾਲ ਸਕਦਾ.
Love capability ਹੈ.
ਹਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਪਿਆਰ ਕਰ
ਹੁਣ
ਸਕਦਾ.
ਹੁਣ ਮੁੰਡੇ ਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਆ? Longevity.
Longevity.
ਹੁਣ 1-2 ਸਾਲ ਕੱਢ.
ਕਰੂ
ਥੋੜਾ ਮੌਕਾ ਆਪਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਛੇਤੀ ਕੰਮ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਹਾਂ. ਆਪਾਂ ਇੰਨਾ ਲੰਬਾ ਟਾਈਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਦੇਖਦੇ.
ਕੋਈ ਦਿਲ ਆ ਗਿਆ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਕੰਮ ਤੇ
ਕਾਲੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰੀ ਜੀ.
23 ਸਾਲਾਂ ਦਾ 23 ਸਾਲਾਂ ਦਾ ਹੁਣ ਤਾਂ ਵਿਆਹ ਹੋ ਜਾਵੇ. 24 ਦਾ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਫਿਰ ਥੋੜਾ ਕੰਮ ਔਖਾ ਆ.
ਮੈਂ ਤੇਰੀ ਉਮਰ ਚ ਪਿਆ ਆ
ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਤੇਰਾ
ਤੂੰ ਲੇਟ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ
ਅੱਛਾ ਤੂੰ
22 ਸਾਲਾਂ ਦਾ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਸੀ
ਹੋ
ਵਿਆਹ
ਗਿਆ।
ਸਾਡਾ.
ਬਾਈਆਂ ਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਦੂਜੇ ਦਿਨ ਮੇਰਾ ਜਨਮ ਦਿਨ ਸੀਗਾ
23 ਦਾ ਸੀ
24
23 ਦਾ ਸੀ.
Yeah.
You got married at 24.
No, ਇਹਦੀ ਮੈਥ ਥੋੜੀ ਗਲਤ ਆ.
23 ਦਾ
ਤੇਈਆਂ ਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ.
22 ਦਾ ਸੀ.
ਅਗਲੇ ਦਿਨ ਤੂੰ
I was
24
just trying to,
ਨਹੀਂ
get
22
away from this.
22 ਦਾ ਸੀ.
Yeah.
22 ਦਾ ਸੀ 23 ਦਾ ਹੁਣ ਲੱਗਿਆ ਸੀ.
I thought I could get away
in
with
like
that one.
12 ਘੰਟੇ ਹੋਰ ਰੁਕ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੋ ਜਾਣਾ ਸੀ 23 ਸਾਲ ਦਾ. ਹੋਰ ਸ਼ਕੀਨ ਬੜਾ ਸੀ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਮੈਂ ਵਿਆਹ ਜੀ ਕਰਨਾ.
ਨਹੀਂ, ਉੱਥੇ
ਵੀਰੇ
ਧੁੰਦ
ਤੇਰਾ
ਬਹੁਤ ਪੈਂਦੀ ਆ
ਥੋੜਾ ਗਲਤ ਆ.
ਧੁੰਦ ਬਹੁਤ ਪੈਂਦੀ ਉੱਥੇ ਕਿਤੇ
365 ਡੇਜ਼ ਬਾਅਦ ਇਹਨੇ ਹੋਣਾ ਸੀ 23 ਦਾ ਫਿਰ ਬਾਈਆਂ ਤੋਂ.
ਨਹੀਂ
ਹਾਂ.
ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜੀ 12 ਘੰਟੇ ਸੀ.
Next day.
Oh,
Next day, yeah.
Next day ਵਿਆਹ ਸੀ.
ਵਿਆਹ ਤੋਂ ਅਗਲੇ ਦਿਨ it was 23, yeah.
yeah,
ਫਿਰ ਇੱਕੋ ਹੀ ਦਿਨ ਸੀ.
23 or 24.
23.
23.
24 ਘੰਟੇ ਰੁਕ ਜਾਂਦਾ. ਕੌਣ
ਸੁਣਾ ਨਹੀਂ
ਮਗਰ
ਮੈਂ
ਕੌਣ ਮਗਰ ਪਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀ.
ਇਦਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰੀਦੀਆਂ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ
ਤੇ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਟੌਂਚ ਮਾਰਨਾ ਸੀ ਇਹਨੇ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਤੇਰੀ ਉਮਰ ਤੇ ਵਿਆਹਿਆ
ਹਾਂ ਇਹ ਤਾਂ
ਬਸ ਮੈਂ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਆ
ਕਹਿਣਾ
ਜਿਹੜੀ
ਮੈਂ
ਦਾ
ਬੜਾ ਜੀ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਕਰਾਂ
I think it was 29.
ਇਹ ਅਕਲ ਵਾਲਾ
ਇਹ ਲੇਟ ਬਲੂਮਰ
ਇਹ ਅਕਲ ਵਾਲਾ ਹੈਗਾ
ਇਹ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਲੇਟ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ
ਨਹੀਂ that's a good time
ਬੜਾ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ
no 29 I like that
29 is the best.
I really like that
29
age
to 32 is a good age.
yeah
30.
I
Under
was
30.
26. I reckon I was so immature still.
26 I feel like that's
I was so immature.
that's probably like the earliest I would really honestly consider it
I reckon you're going to be married and then max next 2 years ਮੈਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਇਦਾਂ ਲੱਗਦਾ
well I'm 24 in
ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਨਾਲ
October
ਇਹ ਪ੍ਰੈਸ਼ਰ ਪਾਉਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਰਾਉਣਾ
it's not pressure ਉਹ ਆਪ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ
now like I'm 24 in
he talks
October
about marriage all the time
ਮੈਂ ਹੱਸਦਾ
ਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਵੀ ਵਿਆਹ ਹੈ ਕੀ ਚੀਜ਼
ਹੱਸਦਾ
ਹੈ
ਹੀ ਆ
ਹੱਸਦਾ ਹੀ ਆ।
ਤੂੰ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ
ਹੱਸੀਆਂ ਖੇਡੀਆਂ ਨੇ
ਨਹੀਂ ਵੀਰੇ, ਇਹ ਝੂਠ ਨਾ ਹੁਣ ਤੂੰ ਬੋਲ ਇੰਨਾ ਮਸਾਲਾ ਨਾ ਲਾ ਤੂੰ ਹੱਸਦਾ ਨਹੀਂਗਾ
ਹੱਸਦਾ ਤਾਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਹੀ
ਤੂੰ
ਆ
ਅਸਲੀਅਤ ਚ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ
ਕੀ ਵਿਆਹ
ਹਾਂ
not really man
Yeah,
like
you
I don't have much like awesome bear out there like I'm not really waiting for like oh bear wala din hoga main ki paunga main ye karunga main wo karunga
you've obviously thought
not really but like I used to but I'll be real with you really like a couple years back I was like main 21 saal da bear kar lena
but in the last
you know
hey, but in the last 2 years his arms have bulked up a fair bit, yes,
yeah definitely
especially the forearms. Really good.
forearms ਕਰਾ ਇਹ ਇੱਥੇ ਤੱਕ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਸੀ ਹੁਣ ਇੱਥੇ ਤੱਕ ਹੀ ਰਹਿ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਜੇ 2 ਸਾਲ ਹੋਰ ਰਹਿ ਗਿਆ ਇੱਥੇ ਤੇ ਆਊਗਾ
ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਕੜਾ ਤੇਰਾ ਕੱਟਣਾ ਪੈਣਾ
ਕੱਟਣਾ ਹੀ ਪੈਣਾ ਵਾ
ਇਹ
ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਰਹਿਣਾ oh man
just imagine getting another ਮੁੰਡਾ ਮੈਂ ਕੱਟ ਬਹੁਤ
ਮਿਹਨਤੀ ਆ
ਮਿਹਨਤੀ ਆ ਉਹ ਕੀ ਸੋਚੇ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦਾ ਕੰਮ ਤਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਪਏ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਕੰਮ ਹੀ ਆ
ਅਰੇ ਹਾਂ ਵੀ ਤਾਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰ ਤੇਰੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਮੋਸ਼ਨ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ
ਉਹ ਮਾਮਾ ਇਦਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਰਸਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ
ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੇ ਗੰਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕੀਤੀ
ਨੌਨ ਵੈਜ ਗੱਲ
ਗੰਦੇ ਦਿਮਾਗ।
ਚੈਨਲ ਤੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਊਗੀ।
I'd like to apologize for what I just said before. I did not mean it at all. It's not me. It's really not me. ਇਹ ਬੰਦੇ ਕਰੇ ਦੋ ਮਨੇ ਬੋਲੇ very bad influences. You know, ਮੰਮੀ ਕੋਈ
ਆਹੋ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਧੱਕੇ ਨਾ ਕਰਾਉਣੇ ਆ
ਦੇਖ ਲਓ
ਕੀ
ਇੰਟੀਮੀਡੇਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ ਮੈਨੂੰ
ਵਿਚੋਲਾ ਕਿਹਨੇ ਬਣਨਾ
ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖ ਲਓ ਕਿਹਨੇ ਮੁੰਦਰੀ ਲੈਣੀ ਆ
ਗੱਡੀ ਤਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਦੋਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਪਾਉਣੀਆਂ ਇਕੱਠਿਆਂ ਨੇ
ਆ ਕੰਬਲ
ਉਹ
ਕਿਹਨੇ
ਵੀ
ਲੈਣਾ
ਇੱਕ ਤੋਲੇ ਦੀ
ਮਾਮਾ ਗਰਮੀਆਂ ਚ ਕੰਬਲ ਕਿਹਨੇ
ਕੰਬਲ ਕਿਹਨੇ ਲੈਣਾ ਕੰਬਲ ਵੀ ਦੇਣਾ ਕੰਬਲ ਕਿਹਨੇ ਲੈਣਾ ਇਹ ਦੱਸ ਲਓ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਪਏ ਆ 10 12 ਕਰੇ
ਤਿਆਰੀ ਚ ਆ
ਦੋ ਬੰਦੇ ਹੋਰ ਨਾਲ ਜੋੜ ਦੋ
ਕਨਫਰਮ
ਕਰਕੇ
that's funny.
ਯਾਰ ਬਸ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਇਹ ਯਾਰ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਆ ਹੋਰ ਕੀ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਚੋਂ
ਆਲਾ ਇਸ ਹੈਣਾ
ਵਾ ਉਸਤਾਦ
ਐਵੇਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਸਰਪੰਚ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ
ਹਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਬਸ ਸਿਆਣੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰਦਾ ਉਮਰ ਛੋਟੀ ਹੋਵੇ ਪਰ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਸਿਆਣੀਆਂ ਨੇ
ਗੱਲਾਂ ਉੱਚੀਆਂ
ਉੱਚੀਆਂ ਫਿਰ ਲਾਈਕ ਲਾਊਡ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ
ਕਰਨ ਚੁੱਪ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਤੂੰ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਸੁਣਾ
Nah, I'm just listening.
ਹਾਂ
Interesting topics.
ਇੰਟਰਸਟਿੰਗ I feel like ਮੈਂ ਹੀ ਬੋਲੀ
Because you
ਜਾਂਦਾ
probably know each other very.
yeah
You know, bro.
ਨਹੀਂ ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਗੱਲ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ
Yeah.
yeah it is true
it's going to be Karan in a few years going to be DJing at this and he's going to like ਯਾਦ ਹੈ ਜਦੋਂ ਇਹ ਗੱਲਾਂ
Yeah.
ਕਰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ
ਕਾਰਨ ਮੈਂ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਵਿਆਹ ਤੇ ਬੁੱਕ ਕਰਨਾ ਤੂੰ ਹੁਣ
Date ਦੱਸ ਦੇ।
ਡੇਟ ਦੀ ਤੂੰ ਡੇਟ ਕਦੋਂ ਫ੍ਰੀ ਆ
ਕਦੋਂ ਫਰੀਆਂ
ਮੈਂ ਹੁਣ free ਹਾਂ।
ਹੁਣ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਕੁ ਦੂਰ
ਲੱਗ ਜਾਣਾ ਤੱਕ
ਆਪਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਲੈ ਲਈਏ ਫਿਰ
ਨਹੀਂ
ਏਰੀਆ
ਆਪਾਂ ਹਲੇ ਨਹੀਂ
ਜੇ ਅੱਜ ਹੀ ਦੱਸ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਤੰਗ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਕਰਨਾ
ਹਾਂ
Area code?
ਏਰੀਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਕੁਝ ਦੱਸ ਨਹੀਂ
ਉਹਦੇ
ਸਕਦੇ
ਮੋਰੇ 3 ਤਾਂ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੋਣਾ
3000 ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਅਸਲ ਵਿੱਚ ਤਾਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ
ਓਕੇ
ਅਸਲ
ਅੱਜ ਲਈ 10 ਤੇ ਹੀ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ
10 ਤੇ ਹੀ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਹੁਣ ਆਪਾਂ ਦੂਸਰਾ ਨੰਬਰ ਕਦੋਂ ਦੱਸਾਂਗੇ
ਸ਼ੋਅ ਤੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਕੱਢਾਂਗੇ
100th ਐਪੀਸੋਡ ਤੇ ਜਦੋਂ 100ਵਾਂ ਐਪੀਸੋਡ ਨਿਕਲਿਆ ਉਹ ਦੱਸਾਂਗੇ
ਤਾਂ ਨੰਬਰ ਤਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਦੱਸਣਾ ਤੇਰਾ ਵਿਆਹ ਹੋ ਜਾਣਾ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਉਦੋਂ ਤੱਕ
ਲੈ ਵਿਆਹ ਦੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਆਏ ਹਾਏ ਹਲੇ ਮੇਰਾ bro I got Rocky still man It's fucking
ਵੀਰੇ
8 years older
ਪੋਸਟ ਕੋਡ ਵੀ ਇੰਨਾ ਘੈਂਟ ਆ ਹਨਾ
ਇਦਾਂ ਨਾ ਕਹਿ
ਓਹੋ
ਦਿਲ ਤਾਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਹੀ ਲੱਗੇ
ਇਟ ਇਜ਼ ਵੈਰੀ ਘੈਂਟ
oh my god no I got plenty of time don't worry plenty of time
so what are you doing at the moment? You're studying, right?
yeah man so yeah I'm currently doing a masters of culture
Okay.
so so I
ਕਿਹੜਾ ਕਲਚਰ ਪੜ ਰਹੇ ਆ
just world cultures man to be honest just like cultures of the world I think it's pretty good because I get to keep it open-ended
ਐਗਜ਼ਾਮਪਲ ਦੱਸ
so like last semester we had to write an essay right and we could choose any creative industry in any country and talk about a specific issue within there that we felt was important to discuss.
And what did you pick, Punjab?
No, this was before the Punjab stuff started, but
Who did you pick?
I chose the lack of gender equality that exists in the current Melbourne music industry. So like I talked to some people that host radio shows. I
Hang
talked
on.
to some
How's that possible? We got the Minogues. They're icons here.
not like domestic music industry, like specifically within Melbourne, like those people who are not traveling internationally yet, but are still in Melbourne, are doing local shows.
Are they not travelling because they're not good enough, or are they not travelling?
They just haven't got the exposure yet. Like they're good enough. They're all good enough, man.
So how is that gender inequality?
No, not just in terms of artists, but in terms of management. Like in terms of the people that are making the decisions within the industry, you'll find that they're
So are you
overwhelmingly.
talking to the glass ceiling that feminists refer to?
I mean, it is there. It is definitely there. Like you look at the executives in a
How
lot
can
of
you
these.
see it? It's glass.
Set of budget, But no, but it's there, you know. Like you look at them executives, they're overwhelmingly white males, and it's
They are.
kind of disheartening to see because if you look at the industry, you look at who's making the music, it's such a diverse crowd. It's people that are from migrant backgrounds. It's people who don't speak English as their first language. It's a lot of women of color. It's a lot of people of color, and that isn't represented with those making decisions.
So did you actually go out and talk to people?
Well,
did you just have to research?
No,
it?
I did 4 main interviews. I did it with a rapper, 2 music bloggers, and a person who hosts a radio show. And I really just got into it with them because, like, obviously, they're all heavily involved with the music industry. So I felt like it was important to discuss with them. Plus, I read some industry reports that said the same thing. And then so I was
Anyone that we could possibly know that you spoke to?
no, man. Like, I mean, they're local, man. Like, unless you're really in tune with like Melbourne music, specifically like English music, then.
How did you get in touch with them?
One of them went to high school with. He's the music blogger. I went to high school with him, so I got in touch.
He?
Yeah, so I got in touch with him, and he put me in
Why did you
touch
get in touch with the she?
because I went to an all boys high school, so it'd be.
Okay.
I don't think I'd have any girls there. But yeah, so he put me in touch with another music blogger, and then she talked about.
But you
a
know,
lot of
in
things.
today's day and age, a he can be a she and a she can be a he.
ਆਪਾਂ ਇਤਨੀ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਟੱਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨੀਆਂ right
Touch ਨਾ ਹੀ ਕਰੋ
ਟੱਚ ਨਾ ਹੀ ਕਰੋ ਠੀਕ ਆ
Trouble ਤੇ ਅੱਜ
ਆਪਾਂ
ਨਹੀਂ ਟੱਚ
edit ਕਰਨਾ ਪੈਣਾ ਹੈ।
ਕਿਹੜਾ ਟੱਚ ਕਰ ਲੂ
edit point ਇੱਥੋਂ ਦੁਬਾਰਾ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ. But yeah, so he put me in touch with another music blogger, and then she talked about it as well.
Today, a he can be a she and she can...
ਬੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਖਰਾਬ ਕਰ ਦੇਣਾ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ.
No, I'm just putting it out there that, you know, it's...
I feel like that's it's a topic that we shouldn't discuss. As males that are heterosexual, I don't think it's our place to discuss this.
ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ੍ਹ you can be anything, man. ਜੋ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਬਣੋ. ਖੁਸ਼ ਰਹੋ.
I like Ben
Push it
Shapiro.
ਤੂੰ ਏਦਾਂ ਨਾ ਕਹਿ. ਫੁੱਦੂ ਬੰਦਾ ਯਾਰ.
ਕੌਣ?
ਮਹਾ ਫੁੱਦੂ ਬੰਦਾ
Who?
ਯਾਰ.
Ben Shapiro?
Ben Shapiro is the fucking
Why?
dumbest motherfucker.
He's a politician, isn't he?
No, he's
Ben
fucking
Shapiro.
not. Ben Shapiro is
Ben
the
Shapiro, that
dumbest
American
cunt
politician.
I've
But
ever.
He's also got a podcast of his own.
No, he's not a politician. He's just like a commentator on politics.
He's a political commentator.
Yeah, that's what he is. But dumbest motherfucker I've ever fucking heard, bro.
Tera kyun nahi bagaadiya?
Because everyone makes him out to be some amazing person who speaks amazing facts, but then all he really does is just speak very fast. That's literally his whole gimmick.
Have you read into his facts?
Yes, I have, bro.
And?
Bro, the last thing I read about him that confirmed that he was a fudu, he put a map up that showed the places in America that had the highest corona cases, right? Put a map up, right?
Yep.
Then he put another map up showing the areas in America that had the highest mask usage, right? And he showed both those maps, and he's like, "Oh, look, it's correlated." And it's like, "Yeah, motherfucker, more like wearing masks causes corona, doesn't it?" And then if you actually looked at it, if you just looked at
It does though.
but if you actually looked at a population density map of the United States, it literally is the same as the corona
I'm going to ask you a
cases.
question before you call him a fudu again, right? Do you know how long you're supposed to wear a mask for?
Which mask?
Face mask.
Face. I think there's different restrictions on
No,
different
but-
ones, bro.
No, there's no.
I think like a surgical one, you're
there's
meant
no
to
rule
dispose
telling
of.
you how long, but do you know what the actual professionals and doctors are saying?
I feel like the general rule for surgical masks, like the blue ones, is they're one-time use only, right? And you're not meant to wear them
20
for
minutes.
Exactly.
20 minutes.
Half fair.
So
That's a lot of masks, man.
Yeah.
It is. That's another problem we're facing. Like, what are you doing all these masks in landfill? That's another problem that is gonna come up. It's coming up now as well. We need to fix
But
that.
I think the correlation that he was making, in case you didn't get it, well, I haven't heard it, but this is what I'm assuming now. The correlation he was making is that the cases are higher where the masks are, is because you're actually breathing in your own bullshit.
No, bro.
So the carbon
cases were high,
dioxide.
the cases were higher in those places because more people live there. That's literally the only thing that
No,
mattered. But population
can't be the
density
case.
affects it.
No.
That's what it does. But more population.
But that definitely affects.
That's-
the
that's-
density definitely affects.
That's
it.
all it was. He was
Yeah.
trying to
Density will
make.
definitely have an impact.
No, but he was trying to make that point. But he was trying to make it in terms of strictly speaking about masks.
So he was doing what most journos these days do, twisting facts. That's what you're saying.
100%, bro. But I'm with you when I say most journalists do not represent the full story.
Ah,
ever.
bullshit. Most journalists are crap.
No, they never represent the full story.
Yeah.
Never ever. They always have an
There's an
angle that they're
angle.
trying to buy
There's an
into.
angle, and that angle comes from who supports them.
100% who backs them,
Who
who wear
backs
the,
them?
where the, who's
Who pays the
who's signing
wages?
their paycheck, pretty much.
That's it.
If
Yeah,
you're
that's
here
pretty
and
much
your Rupert Murdoch signs
नहीं है
your,
काम होना
नहीं ਆਪਾਂ हले पैसे बने नहीं बनेंगे
बनाने भी नहीं
बनाने भी नहीं we're not for sale mind you but जो ad पानी आ
पर मैं सीढ़ी लेनी है
email जरूर पाओ email दसो
और रेडियो
और
gmail.com
हाँ जी जी ad request जरूर भेजो
already at Melbourne
ਸਾਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਪਤਾ email ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ
ਉਹ ਭਰਾਵਾ ਪਹਿਲਾ ਦਿਨ ਆ ਪਹਿਲਾ ਸ਼ੋਅ ਆ ਹੌਲੀ ਹੌਲੀ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ
ਉੱਥੇ ਕਿਉਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਲਾਇਆ
yeah we should have the email up there
ਚਿੰਤਾ ਰੱਖਣਾ easy
edit it in
Good on you. Episode 2 Holly you gotta build it up you know
Yeah, it's,
can't
it's
go
our first one, yeah. We're just getting used to this.
can't kill it from the first episode you know only way from there is down
You
man
can, but I think you know what? I would actually like to see people comment below. You know, when we post this up on YouTube, what they think, how they think we can improve things as well. You know, I think
Yeah, absolutely.
feedback is always good. What do you want to hear about as well? You know, we have our own thoughts on hot topics and you know what people might want to talk about, think about, and we're going to continue to do that. But if there's anything in particular you guys want to talk about, put it down there. You know, and we'll look into it. You know, you never know. It might be already something that we're looking at talking about anyway, and we'll bring it up along.
100%.
We've got 78, 79 topics lined up.
Jesus
Not bad.
episode 1 ਕੀਤਾ
It's all the research, bro.
ਵਾਹ ਵਾਹ
This is just the beginning, man.
ਵਾਹ
This is
ਵਾਹ
just the beginning.
ਹਲੇ ਤਾਂ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋਏ ਆ ਹਲੇ
ਏਦਾਂ ਹੀ
ਬਹੁਤ
ਆ।
ਟਾਈਮ ਪਿਆ
ਏਦਾਂ ਹੀ ਆ।
ਇਦਾਂ ਹੀ ਆ ਆਂਟੀਆਂ ਜੇ ਕੁੜੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਦੱਸੋ
ਇਹਨੂੰ ਐਡਿਟ ਕਰ ਲਿਓ।
ਇਹਨੂੰ
This is definitely not being edited.
ਇਹਦੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਦੇ ਦਿਲ ਮਿਲ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰ ਦਿਆ ਐਸੇ ਹੀ।
The chances are.
ਦਿਲ ਮਿਲ ਦੀ ਐਡਵਰਟਾਈਜ਼ਿੰਗ ਕਰਤੀ ਆਪਾਂ।
ਮਾਈ ਨੇਮ ਸੁਖਮੀਤ ਬੈਚਲਰਸ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੋਈ ਆ ਮੈਂ ਕੰਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦਾ ਹਲੇ ਪਰ ਕਰ ਲੂੰਗਾ ਡੋਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਘਰ ਦੀ ਰਾਖੀ ਰੱਖ ਲੂੰਗਾ ਨਿਆਣੇ ਸੰਭਾਲ ਲੂੰਗਾ
Wow.
Hey,
Just
what
jumped a few
no,
levels there.
listen. What he's trying to say is that he's a modern guy,
I'm a modern guy man
right? That
I am a feminist
He's okay with role reversal.
100%
He's happy to be the
think-
one that looks after the
Happy to-
children.
I think we should
and
abolish
if the wife has the career, he's happy to let her be so.
oh fam 100%
That's all he's saying.
but my dream is to be
But-
a house husband
ਘਰ ਆਈ ਨੂੰ ਖਾਣਾ ਦਾਣਾ ਟੇਬਲ ਤੇ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ
bro you understand man
ਨਿਆਣੇ ਸੁੱਤੇ ਪਏ ਹੋਣੇ ਚਾਹੀਦੇ ਆ
what she comes up at 5 o'clock that's so mummy I can't
Wait, hang on. If she's got a career, she ain't coming home at 5, bro.
huh
She's got a career, she ain't coming home at 5.
100%
Unless she runs her own business. Then she's going to be a killer mum.
100% man that's the thing man like
Respect.
you know I don't think marriage should ever be a restriction or should be a restrictor on careers you know I feel like too often it is in our
ਵੀਰੇ ਵਿਆਹ ਕਰਾ ਲਾ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ
but I feel like in our cultures it definitely is man I feel like in our cultures like a Punjabi culture
Expectations different.
the expectations are so different like we're still stuck in those like heteronormative
I
roles
think it's changed a fair bit.
I think
it's
now
changed a
this
fair bit. In our
generation like
generation,
this
it's
generation's
a fair
changed but Halevi man
But you know, I do think, look, it's difficult. I think, like our parents, for instance, when they came here, they would have come here with a mentality of Punjab from the 70s and 80s, right? That mentality was different to the people who came here in the 90s and the early 2000s. And so on with the people who have come here just in the last 5 to 10 years. So if you think about it, whose mentality are we going to have? We're obviously going to have that 70s and 80s mentality from Punjab when our parents came here, because that's all they knew.
Yeah.
They didn't experience the other 40 odd years that have happened, all the good or the bad. So it's definitely the case what you're saying, but I think it's also, it's excusable to a point, but it's not excusable when it gets like like too heavy-handed and guys think that they have the right for everything else or anything like that.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like it's really positive to see that change. Yeah, I mean, it's really nice to see that change, but I still feel like as long as, that generation is still like loud with that voice, you're gonna hear those criticisms. But I guess at that point, Punjabis are just critical of everything.
Criticisms are gonna
Punjabis are
happen,
Punjabis,
right?
man.
Yeah, Punjabi is just like, you do everything right, फिर भी, ठीक नहीं रहता काम. I mean, Cotton could probably speak to it as well. At the DJing at weddings, it's something like, no matter what song you play, someone's always gonna have a suggestion for you.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
like you could be killing the set. Like in your mind, you know exactly what you're doing, but then, किसी ने तो आना ही हुंदा. नहीं पाजी, ये गाना लाओ, ये गाना.
Just some people want to be important.
I think, yeah.
That's alright. It's for some people that's like a big part of their night. You make it for them.
Yeah, it could be good and bad. So,
Yeah.
as long as they're not fussy.
You have like a meeting with a couple, and you kind of suss out what kind of music they're into, what kind of crowd there's going to be, how many people are expected.
Yeah,
You
I
get all
ask
the
them all
gist.
the questions when you book them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we ask them all the questions when we book them.
Yeah.
So it's always a general idea because you still have to do crowd reading, when people actually
100%.
come. So they can't tell you this. They can give you a general idea. There'd be a Hindi crowd or Bollywood stuff or some R&B. They give you a general idea.
Yeah.
But end of the day, it's just your decision. How you take the night.
I've been to a wedding where a DJ, had pre-prepared the whole night's music from the start. So it doesn't matter. I don't think he was trying to read the crowd. Like, he literally just played what he had prepared, and that was it. He was reading off a list
Okay.
the whole time.
I don't think it works like that, does it?
He was shit. He was horrible.
Was he playing the
It would
lead
never
Mindy all
work,
night?
Well, I've done a wedding where I was given a playlist, right? Sequenced. But that was more like 80s. So the bride wanted specific songs to be played in order.
Yeah.
And that was a good night. People danced. It wasn't a Punjabi night. It can't work I think it could work for some genres, like, 80s rock and all the stuff, but it can never work for...
I think Punjabi crowds are just like a different kettle of fish.
Yeah, Punjabi, because, it definitely is. You have
To some
to...
extent.
Yeah.
We went to this club once and they're playing all this Hindi music, and then all the Punjabis are crowded. The DJ gone up Punjabi now.
Yeah, they'll come up to you in a club.
Yeah.
Bhai Babu Man Lao.
Yeah.
Or shit like that, You can't...
The one that you were at just recently with Rukshan, I saw that, and they had a really family-friendly vibe to the whole thing. At the end of the night, the whole family got together, taking photos, dancing to music, and there's this massive group picture. I thought, wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
There's a lot of love there. You know what I mean? And that's what you want to see.
That's what you want to see,
Yeah.
I love seeing that
Yeah.
kind of vibe, yeah.
And I see it obviously there's a lot of love in Punjabi families. We just show it differently.
Oh, 100%.
But those guys make it memorable. I think well, anyway, look, it's left an impression on me. So
Yeah, that's what you're looking for in a wedding, You want a nice vibe, everyone enjoying it. But a lot of time people just get mad for no reason,
Yeah.
at a wedding and end up ruining someone else's event.
That is-
Oh, karta, and all the stuff,
Yeah.
Just chill, man. It's an event. It's someone's event.
Yeah, like some people get really like selfish at weddings. They really like try to make everything about them.
Like sometimes they want to sing. At a
Yeah,
wedding.
no, that's another thing. Like some people like sing at weddings. It's like, man, you're at a wedding. You don't even really know the couple. Tu Mike Chaklia, gonna like beer. Like, come on.
You know what, bro?
mate.
Listen,
Can we take a pause?
can I?
I think my
Yeah.
battery's going down. The laptop.
Oh,
Charge
yeah.
it, Lala.
Yeah,
I've got a
pause it.
charger.
You wanna pause it?
Yeah, I'll pause it down.
Yeah, don't do it.
Pause it down.
Yeah, don't do it.
Pause it down.
Yeah, don't do it.